Rob, what's the one question that I should be asking that I haven't?
Well, I think one question you could be asking is, but isn't HR already evidence-based? Isn't organizational psychology already evidence-based? That's something people sometimes ask, and indeed can find it puzzling and almost insulting that you're implying they don't use evidence. So that's the question well, we're already using evidence. We're already evidence-based. And I guess I've just asked the question, I'll also answer it. And I think the answer I'll give is yes, of course you always use evidence. Of course, everybody uses evidence for everything all the time. That's not evidence-based practice. And there's three main differences between what we usually do, I think, and evidence-based practice. And of course, we may do it a bit more in some circumstances, of course. But the three main differences are, firstly, this idea of multiple sources of evidence. So you don't just look at one source, you really make the effort to look across multiple sources. The second thing is paying attention to the best quality and most relevant evidence. So this issue saying, as we discussed earlier, how trustworthy is this? Why is this person telling this? Why is this research article coming to this conclusion? What's that based on? So multiple sources, is it trustworthy and relevant to what I'm trying to do? The third main difference, I think, is taking this stepped approach, and that's stepped in two ways. One is, what's the problem or opportunity first, and then once that's discovered, what can we do about it? That's one aspect of this sort of staged or step process. The other thing is asking a question, gathering the evidence, judging its quality, pulling it together, and then applying it. So structure in that sense, because I think often there's lots of evidence and data floating around. If you don't have a structured approach, it just makes it slightly harder to do it in an effective way. And in the end, all this is about making more informed decisions. And anything we can do to help us do that, say whether it's 3 sources or 4 sources or 6 steps or 4 steps, doesn't matter too much as long as we're trying to make more informed decisions about what we're doing as practitioners.
Yeah, fantastic. And I guess from our point of view, that makes perfect sense in the sense that from an assessment perspective,
yeah.
It's about reliability, validity, credibility of that information and kind of putting that in. And as you say, then looking at, well, what else have you got? You know, how much value do you place on it? And I guess the debate often we get with in situations, we have their last 2 performance reviews. Yes, but you talked earlier about bias, but that may be dependent on how their line manager sees them. But it may still be, again, it may be interesting data to bring together in multiple sources. And I guess that's what I'm hearing you talk about.